why when you won the tip, or the coin toss, rather, I don't know why you wouldn't just defer like you always do.
He said he wanted the third possession. Kyle, you might not get to the third possession, buddy.
I mean, he's right. I mean, if you score, then they score. Well, you get the first crack at winning it. He's right. But to me, I feel like if you defer there, like you always do, in a way you're taking, I get it, if they score, you score, we're going to a third possession. But by giving them the ball first, in a way you're saying, hey, Patrick, at least to start, you're not going to get the last crack at it. But and I get it. Oh, well, what if he scores a touchdown and then the Niners score? I get all that. All I'm saying is if you defer there and maybe you hold Kansas City to a field goal on that drive, well, guess what? Then you have the opportunity to not allow Mahomes to come back on the field.
Yeah, I'm not.
To me, it's you take the ball. Now you're guaranteeing he's going to get the ball either tie down 3 or down 7.
But he's going to be able to use the fourth down to their advantage, knowing what you just did.
I don't know why.
I'm with you. I want my fourth down to where I know how aggressive. I want that fourth down to be like insurance almost, to where, okay, now we know. When you get it first down, it's like, oh, boy, we got to be cautious.
Yeah.
But if you,
I mean,
game shouldn't have been in OT. I'll die on that hill.
I mean, I don't.
Game shouldn't have.
Why not?
I guess
why shouldn't it have?
Kansas City should have won it. I thought they were going to. Didn't you think they were going to score a touchdown in regulation?
No, when I watch a game live, I usually don't know what's going to happen. That's why I watch. I don't know.
Said, did you feel? Steiny?
Well, like when Kansas City has the ball, like they might score a field goal. They might, like, that's why I watch, because I don't know what's going to happen. By the way, you guys, you keep saying that I'm blaming the defense, and I'm going to get a little snooty and defensive. I'm not blaming the defense.
How can you?
They had chances to win the game, and they didn't come through. Also, just from a numbers perspective, that defense, that I get it, I'm not blaming. They gave up 22 points in the final 3 quarters. Okay, so do the math on that.
Yeah.
That's on the last 3 quarters of that game, they were giving up an average of 30 points.
And that problem.
Again, let me just say it one more time. The defense that I'm not blaming, I'm also saying had a chance to win that game.
Right.
They didn't come through.
No doubt.
Just like a guy had a 22-foot, guy has a 22-footer down 2 to tie the game. He misses it. Guess what? It's great he had 32 points for the game, but he had an opportunity that he didn't come through on.
And they
2
got
things
you
can be equally true.
Yeah, and I'll add one more to that to make it 3 things. The same defense picked off Mahomes in the first possession of the second half, and the offense did diddly squat, kept us on the field.
Yep.
You had 3 3-and-out possessions, including that interception that the defense got you, Steiny, so we could add to our lead so we could win this damn game. So I get what you're saying, because that's truth, but also had the offense did their part, it wouldn't have been that close.
It's always a team effort. Like, I'm not being that's why when I came in today, I'm like, there's nobody to blame individually, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not saying you want to disagree with me, disagree with me. The offense, not good enough.
It's just weird,
The defense had a chance to come through and win them a Super Bowl. They didn't. The special, they didn't. That was not a Super Bowl winning performance yesterday by any group, special teams, offense, or defense, or any individual player, with a notable exception or 2. Their best players did not play well enough. It was, it's like, unfortunately, it's like looking at the box score of a Game 7 the Warriors lost, and you look and you see Curry was 8 for 23, and Klay Thompson was 7 for 18, and Draymond was, 3 for 9. Like, they needed somebody to play better. Maybe a couple guys.
I don't want to bring up. I'm from the Bay. I can't.
That's just the way I look at it.
No, I ain't mad at you. But the 2016 Kyrie Irving shot over Curry to win the game in the finals. I think of the Niners in 2019, the same Super Bowl matchup against the Chiefs. But this one hurts more because I watched that game just like you did. And again, for whatever reason, there was a sequence in the third quarter where Kyle got pass happy. They didn't execute the offense. And at that juncture, you let Frankenstein hang around, which was Mahomes and Andy Reid, and they made you pay for it. But you are right. Did the defense have closed them out? Yes. Did they? No. But, man, this hurts.
Let's go to it hurts 49er fans.
No doubt about it.
Tom in Sonoma. What's up, Tom? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Steiny. Hey, Guru. How you guys doing, man?
Okay.
Doing
hey,
all right,
Steiny, I got a question for you, man. Have you went out dancing and tested out that hip yet?
No.
Uh-oh.
I did too much walking in Vegas, but that's because let's talk Niners.
Hey, man. So, hey, I think there was mistakes on both sides of the ball, on both sides of the team, but my biggest issue was that extra point, man. That's the difference in the game. If the punter Moody didn't blow that kick, and he was Mr. Consistent all year long, man. It just shows you, man, when you're under pressure and anything can happen, because that kick was so low, they just stuck their hand out and blocked it. I thought that was the most important point of the whole game, man. And nobody's talking about that. So I want to hear what you guys think. I think that was the cause of the loss. That would have been one. That would have no overtime, man.
Yeah, see,
done.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. See, I look at it like this.
Oh, man.
That was one thing that happened that had it gone another way, maybe it changes the outcome. And that's why when I look at this game, Goo, and I look at the 49, I look at it from the 49ers perspective because we're in the Bay Area and I've watched them play 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just feel like everybody left a little too much on the table.
Yes.
Whether it was Moody, whether it was Purdy, whether it was Trent Williams, they just didn't play. Could they have won? Yes, they could have won. And they've won that game in the past. They might have won a game. They might have won 2 games like that in the postseason, but this was Kansas City. Like, they didn't get robbed. They didn't get hosed.
They left it on the table.
They can look in the mirror and say, we weren't good enough.
Yeah, we had a chance. I'm going to say this about Jake Moody because the amount of Niner fans in rhetoric that I'm hearing on X everywhere, the television, Steiny, like, explain to me how that was his fault.
One more time?
Jake Moody, the extra point, which we know was big,
right.
But this dude made 3 for 3 for field goals, had a record for 5 minutes for length of field goals in the Super Bowl. Jake Moody brought his A game. You know, we know our partner here, Mark Willard. I can't wait for him to. He texted us saying it was Moody's fault and the deliberate. Like, I'm shocked coming from Willard, but the amount of other people that are blaming Jake on a blocked extra point, I'm here to hear people tell me how that was his fault. And even
what if I just tell you?
What about the 3 other field goals that were humongous that he drilled?
Again, we're talking about everybody making an extra play, and he didn't make it. Like, I'm sure they've already figured out that the trajectory on most. Like, that ball was below the normal trajectory of an extra point. So he blew it. He kicked it too low.
Not on that 55-yarder that was a record. You know what I mean? It's like,
I don't know what you mean.
He made all his field goal kicks. The extra point was humongous.
Right.
It was blocked. He didn't miss it. So I can make the argument that maybe the guys didn't block.
But I think it was pretty objectively a little low.
But
my point is, like, okay, so then what happens? You look in the box score, and Moody's got 3 field goals, an extra point, and he got an extra point.
You still had a lead, like you said, for the D to close it out.
But, yeah, and that keeps getting back to, you know what? If Moody kicks that higher, it goes through. Now it's 17-13. Maybe some dynamic changes. People might be like, what do you mean, Steiny, maybe? No, it's a 4-point. That's fine.
Well, the Chiefs know they got to get a touchdown.
Let's go to, by the way, can I give a shout-out to Boxer and Gerson? They sponsor all our guests on the Boxer and Gerson phone line Thursday and Friday in Vegas. So they got their money's worth for sure. Just a special thank you to Boxer and Gerson for the 95.7 The Game guest line. They got to work out.
Yeah,
in
they're
Vegas
awesome.
on
No
Thursday
doubt.
and Fridays. Thank you, Boxer and Gerson.
AAA on the YouTube chat. First North Cal Credit Union YouTube chat. Steiny, I need security. Stop it, Goo. Moody choked. Wow.
Oh,
You don't feel that. Now, if that was for the game.
You use that word. Don't put me in a. You use it. You think he choked? He choked.
I don't think he choked.
He kicked an extra point low. Was it with no time left? How much time was left?
No, they had more.
So you want to say he choked?
That's like saying McCaffrey choked. His fumble was in the first quarter. It did.
Yeah,
they were on their way.
But that's where I will take the other side.
But you're 10-3 at half.
That's where I will take the other side, though.
Come on.
It's like, what's wrong with saying maybe the lights were too big for McCaffrey on the first drive? Oh, my God. Not Christian McCaffrey, the greatest running back in the football this year.
Yeah.
It was also his first Super Bowl. He fumbled. When was his last fumble? Week what? I bet he hadn't fumbled in like 7 weeks. No, he fumbled kind of late in the year.
I remember he fumbled against Dallas at the goal line.
So, it was he's fumbled twice in the last 12 weeks. Oh, go ahead. Not to say he choked.
I don't
Did
do
he
that.
choke?
No, I don't
Okay,
do
did
that.
the texter think that he choked? If the texter thinks Moody choked on an extra point, who's to say McCaffrey didn't choke on a fun?
Yeah, choking for me
my point is it's dumb.
It's money time.
That to me is dumb. Let's go to Daryl in San Ramon. What's up, Daryl? How you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Good to see you guys at Fieldworks, Guru and Steiny, when you were in San Ramon.
All right,
awesome.
Good times.
Thank you.
Hey, I wanted to save this conversation, but you guys have already mentioned Jennings.
Yeah.
If any Niner can hold his head up high and have know he had an A+ game, it's him.
Mm-hmm.
It's him. Just only the second player in Super Bowl history to catch and throw a touchdown in the same game.
And what about before you finish, sorry not to cut you off, what about his playoff game? He saved him against Green Bay and saved him against Detroit. So he had a hell of a playoff run, if we're being honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could point to the postseason. He went up on the second floor to get that catch against the Lions.
Nice.
And I'll tell you what, that one play you were talking about where Brock Purdy missed Jauan Jennings with Chris Jones all up in his face, if he throws it anywhere near Jennings and Jennings somehow comes down with the ball, I'll bet you he's up there for MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he would have been considered. Yeah. He would have been considered. Yeah, no, Jennings was good. It was like, again, and you nailed this one. You nailed this one. It's like we're talking about the Warriors.
Go ahead.
Losing a game in the NBA Finals. But you know what? Moody played well.
No.
Moses Moody played well. He was 8 for 11 from the field, and he scored 19. That was Jauan Jennings. Like their seventh man. He played well, but how'd the big three do? Well, not quite as good.
And I think about memorable moments in the Super Bowl when Brady got beat by Eli Manning and he threw that pretty pass in the corner, that fade to Plexico Burress. How that's just a staple of my mental Rolodex in regard to Super Bowls. Terry Bradshaw to Lynn Swann. Joe Montana to Rice against the Bengals. My point is, Steiny, it was set up to where if they had completed that play, maybe we remember it like that, but the play we remember is the walk-off when Mahomes hit our guy on the play that Romo said. They've been saving it. They've been saving it, Jim. I'm like, Romo, they almost got blown out. Yeah, the anti-read special.
888-957-9570 is the number. Steiny Guru with you on 95.7 The Game. And, I'm just wondering if you're a 49er fan, kind of how you view this one.
How much does it hurt, man? Does it hurt more than the 19 Super Bowl, Steiny?
Well, I'm not the person to ask. I think this one, again, it's hard for me to view it out as a 49er huge fan. Because I'm not.
Yeah.
But the way I do view it as, I would say if I'm a Niner fan, I'm like, man, we had so many opportunities. And that's one where, it's like, if you're a Niner fan, you're probably saying we should have won that game. And I'd come on the radio and say you could have. But so my point is that the frustration I would have as a Niner fan in a way would be, but we just can't pinpoint the area that really cost us the game. To me, we just weren't good enough overall. And, we had a couple plays that helped us in the postseason, and then one kind of hurt us yesterday with a punt. But I guess I could see a frustration in not knowing what specifically got you beat yesterday.
And I'll say this. I'll answer it like a Niner fan because I'm a fan, Steiny, so I put myself in their shoes. The one 5 years ago, that didn't hurt like this one because that was the first time. It was the second time for Niner fans as a whole, but under Kyle, this was the second one to where you're like, damn it, and you just expressed it. We let one get away again. This is the second time.
888-957-9570 is the number. Let's go to Alex in Hayward. Hey, Alex, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing well.
Taking my call.
No problem.
Hey, still on the record of saying this is a problematic issue with Shanahan. You got to give this loss to the coach. I agree with a few of the callers that called before about that. He's been in this position so many times, and although he's a good coach, he's shown a lack of ability to make adjustments when he needs to make the adjustments. I disagree with that the 49ers weren't good enough. I mean, you don't get to have a score this close by not being good enough. So you got to look at some other factors. You just look across the way there and look at Andy Reid. He went in halftime and he made some adjustments.
What specifically? What specifically was an adjustment Reid made?
I would say you mean Andy or Shanahan?
Andy, Reid.
Andy made the adjustment of covering, especially covering the receivers so they couldn't get open, right, on the second half. He shut down the middle for the run. That pretty much stifled McCaffrey. But on the other hand, Shanahan had all the field that he could work with all those weaponry you were talking about, right? And he didn't use any of them. So if somebody's getting shut down, you got to make some adjustments. You can't go 3 and out. And they did that how many times in that game? You can't give Mahomes that kind of time. Or you can't give Andy Reid that kind of a gift, going 3 and out. Not with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, and I'm not a 49er fan again. I'm just looking at the game, and that's what I'm looking at. It's coaching at that point.
Appreciate the call.
Well, Steiny, I'm not saying he's wrong, but let's be honest and put the rat on the table. Brought to you by Atco. The second half 49er defense was won without Greenlaw. So that's what he took advantage of, and I get it and I understand it. But to me, that's the biggest difference, and I think that's getting lost. I get it, no excuses. Guys get hurt, but they were suffocating Mahomes and company, and your boy was invisible. Number 87, who we'll get to, bumping a 65-year-old man, Kelsey. I felt like that was Norm on the sideline. I wanted to punch him for bumping Andy Reid like that. I've never seen anything like that, and if I was on the team, he would have got his ass whooped. That's what would have happened if I was a part of the kid. You don't do the elderly like that. I couldn't believe that happened, and I wanted them to lose, and they won, and now that'll be it was just horrible. That's just my coach. We're cool. That was weak. I've never seen anything like it. I'm done with Kelsey, Steiny, and they won. That's what pissed me off, and he got loose.
Like, here's the thing. I mean, if you're really so, where do we go from here? Why did we lose the game? Okay, so. And I'm not saying I necessarily subscribe to this, but everybody was like, oh, we can't kick. Okay, why did the 49ers lose in the NFC Championship game last year? Because their quarterback got hurt. Okay, and you just said it. Why the Niners defense, why wasn't it as good after halftime? Oh, they maybe lost their best defensive player. Okay, well, those are both fair things. If you acknowledge those, well, then come back next year. Come back next year with the same team.
Well, you pretty much
lost your best defensive player. That's fair.
He ain't going to be ready for a while, but okay. I get you.